come to Christ, when the Spirit of God
Have you ever thought of going to seminary?
Billy Graham.
Gloria a Dios, hermanos. Y está listo para ser transformado por el poder de su palabra.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com. Streaming on Salem Now.
I grew up poor, which is even worse than being poor.
Our lunch consisted of whatever my mother could scrape together from the dinner the night before. We would have sandwiches with no meat.
My American dream entailed working hard and making $20,000 a year. But I surpassed that goal and became a corporate CEO.
Put in an economic growth plan called 999.
We'll all be able to say, free at last, free at last.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
Man, I miss my father, and I want him to be here with me, but he's not.
We all had something in common. A lot of us were miserable. We had no fathers in our lives.
This is how I began the life of crime. I desired to have a father who would tell me that what I did was wrong.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
The only time you can come to Christ, when the Spirit of God
Have you ever thought of going to seminary?
Billy Graham.
Gloria a Dios, hermanos. Y está listo para ser transformado por el poder de su palabra.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com. Streaming on Salem Now.
You're out of your mind if you think this family can pick you up every time you fall.
Every time I take one step forward, seems like I fall.
Boy, Dylan Wright came in this morning. He wants to fight you.
Never say die, gonna give it all.
This is your opportunity to get back on your feet.
This is my time. Won't quit, I've just begun.
You gotta know who it is you're fighting for. That's the fight, Bo.
I can't believe I'm saying it, that Bo Lawson can go 10 years without a competitive fight, and here he is going toe-to-toe with the world champion. No one expected this out of him.
Stream on your phone, tablet, or TV.
Hello, everybody, and a Merry Christmas to all of you, even if you're not celebrating it. It's a national holiday, and it needs to be preserved. Non-Christians who think that the demise of Christianity is not a tragedy for them are foolish, and I'm using the lightest term I can use. I remind people that when Christianity began to die in Europe, it was not replaced by sweetness. It was replaced by fascism, Nazism, and communism. What will replace it here? You had an inkling during the 2020 riots. You have an inkling when you see store after store looted. I'm just reading right now. Chicago area smash and grab thieves hit Nordstrom's twice in one day. This is from yesterday, Fox News. Because they know they'll get away with it. There are enough evil human beings on earth that if there is no fear of police, no fear of the law, they will do anything they want. Okay? They will murder, they will rape, they will steal. That is the law of life. I knew that when I was 5, because I was raised in a non-stupid home. It was neither secular nor liberal. It was real. I learned that the nature of the human being is not good, as every Christian and Jewish kid learns, and no secular kid learns. Big difference. It's my column this week. See it at my website on the difference between a religious and a secular education. I'm Dennis Prager. I was speaking today. I'm devoting the show to how has the year and a half affected you. I began with my one effect on me is I've gone from reverence to contempt for the medical profession in the United States. There are many wonderful individual doctors, needless to say. Doctors have saved my life. That's a fact of life. But the medical profession as a profession has deteriorated. Fools govern American medicine, sometimes bad fools, although a fool by definition does bad. Another thing that I've learned in the last year is the ease with which people can be brainwashed. This was a revelation to me. I thought you could only brainwash people in a dictatorship. And I believed that my whole life, starting with my study of Russian, so that I could read Pravda, the Soviet communist newspaper, which I read on an almost daily basis in graduate school. I was at the Russian Institute at Columbia University's School of International Affairs. I was mistaken all of my life. You can brainwash people in a non-dictatorship. Fascinating, isn't it? But people want to be brainwashed because they accept it. Oh, why would you listen to talk radio? Why would you watch a PragerU video? Why would you go to the Daily Wire? Why would you let your kid go to a TPUSA conference, Turning Point USA? Why would you watch Fox News? Right? So they don't. And they get brainwashed. I never said don't read the New York Times. You should read what the left has to say. But you should know what we have to say. How many people in this country know about the deceit at the University of Pennsylvania swim meet, where a male swimmer, saying he was a female, broke all records? He defeated the second place person by 40 seconds. Usually you defeat people in a swim meet by a second or a fraction of a second. 40 seconds. So these girls who have worked their tails off for their whole life to swim fast, lost because the University of Pennsylvania cheats. And Cornell lets them. The Cornell swimmers showed up and didn't protest that they lost to a male. Now the question is, how many of your liberal relatives know that? 0. Because they've been brainwashed not to listen to us or read us. So lesson number 2 for me was the ease with which people in a free society can be brainwashed. All righty, everybody. Let's go to your calls. And River Falls, Wisconsin, John.
Hi, Dennis. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah as well.
Thank you on both accounts.
Yeah, was thinking kind of, in the past about 2 years here. I've adjusted quite a bit, and I really have no issue aligning myself with those that share my values and those who do not. So those who would force me to wear a mask, those who wouldn't let my kids around them without masks, things like that. I'm done with them. I just have no time, and this has happened.
So, all right, so what's happened? Have you sort of reconfigured your friendships?
A couple of significant ones I have, and there's stuff that goes into it with they don't align with my values of where I devote my life with 3 young daughters at this time. Yeah, it's just.
So do you have you replaced those friends with new friends?
I have.
How did you find the new friends?
Mostly people in the neighborhood that we let our kids play together, and you were talking about that before.
So it was through the kids.
It was, and I think that value of letting them play together that led to new friendships.
That's right. That makes sense. That's what I wanted to know, because I want people to find kindred spirits. Yes, you're right. A couple that allowed their kids to play with other kids in the last year and a half is going to be a couple that you want to at least pursue a friendship with. Yeah, it may not click. Not everybody clicks, even if they share values. But that's correct. A couple that did not let their kids play and hurt their kids terribly in the past year, or told the kids to wear masks all the time, even when they didn't have to, like in school where they have to, but you should take your kid out of a school that makes your kid wear a mask. It's not run by intelligent people. Those are parents that you would not necessarily want to be friendly with. Let's see, Los Angeles and Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hey, Dennis, how you doing? Good morning to you.
Thank you.
I just had a question. I've just tuned in briefly for a minute. I heard your discussion. It seems like you're advocating not using a mask and not getting vaccinated, and I just want to get a clarification on that, really.
Masks are a farce. Masks are only harmful. They destroy human interrelationships, and they do nothing for your health. As regards vaccines, I'm against mandate. What is it based on? Every study I have read. They're useless. You can breathe right through them. You should see the videos of people puffing after inhaling a cigarette or a, what do you call those, electronic cigarettes, and puffing out. They go right through the mask.
Okay, you may have seen that information, Dennis, but I've seen information to the contrary. And also, I have another question for you.
Wait. I'm curious. On the wait. Well, now let's just talk common sense. Do you eat in a restaurant?
Do I eat in a restaurant?
Yes.
Sure, of course.
Do you eat? Have you been?
I know that's ridiculous. I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. You walk in a restaurant, you have to wear a mask, but when you sit down, you can take it off. What's that about? I know. I agree.
No, wait. So if you believe masks are effective, why do you eat in a restaurant? Aren't you endangering your life?
No, I'm not. First of all, I'm vaccinated, and I'm not endangering my life.
All right. So vaccinated people. Vaccinated people don't have to wear masks, in your view.
Yeah, in my view, they shouldn't have to wear masks.
Okay, so we're not that far apart, are we? Since a big chunk of the country is vaccinated. All right. That was important. Thank you for calling. I would have kept you on, but I got to take a break. We will return momentarily.
Streaming on Salem Now.
The public would be outraged if they knew the truth.
Why do you think our politicians are not on the sidewalk right now talking to you?
Don't have no respect.
The old wall randomly turns into a guardrail, followed by miles of open border.
human trafficking brought.
That journey is extremely dangerous.
The 7-year-old girl died in the desert.
From the country of India.
A great pillar of the community was killed by a man who had been deported at least twice.
This little urn contains the ashes of my son. His dreams cut short forever.
We're so worried about other countries' problems, and we don't even focus on our own.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
Judge Thomas, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I was under constant attack. You're not really black because you're not doing what we expect black people to do. This is the wrong black guy. He has to be destroyed.
So you'd still like to serve on the Supreme Court?
I'd rather die than withdraw from the process.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
Man, I miss my father, and I want him to be here with me, but he's not.
We all had something in common. A lot of us were miserable. We had no fathers in our lives.
This is how I began the life of crime. I desired to have a father who would tell me that what I did was wrong.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
This is why we're fighting for the soul of America.
You should be able to share ideas without fear of being fired from your job or shouted down.
You are not to be heard. This is one of the few things we have no precedent for in the United States.
You have the right to remain silent.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
The Democratic Party somehow has convinced black people that they're the good guys. Never mind the skanky history of the Democratic Party. That was a party of slavery. There is a whole big cottage industry for racism. If racism went away, a lot of people would be unemployed.
The mob during the Minneapolis riots following the death of George Floyd. A bunch of white thugs, frankly, burning down the city's traditional black and Asian business district.
They're racist, racist, racist. Everything's racist.
Look for Salem Now in the App Store or go to salemnow.com.
Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. Will is engineering on in place of Sean. So if you start hearing bumper music in Sanskrit, Urdu, Pashto, any man with Christmas lights on his sweater is a troubled soul. No, it says so in Ephesians.
Handbook.
Yeah. Anyway, I do want to remind you folks that giving charity is an instant happiness inducer. I promise. Guaranteed. This is one of the best examples of you don't want to do it. I don't. I admit it. I don't wake up in the morning thinking, gee, how much money can I give away today? True. But I give charity, and the second I do, I feel good. Angel Tree campaign is our campaign for kids who have a parent in prison. We've dropped Salvation Army. It's become woke. They're into the racism issue. I told you, anything the left touches, it destroys. I never expected it of the Salvation Army, gotta say. The leadership of the Salvation Army should resign. Then I'll be more than happy to endorse them again. But this is a terrific group. It's a Christian group. If you're a Christian, I can't understand. Don't your religious convictions compel you to give charity? I know I'm giving you a hard time, but it's meant well. Why wouldn't a Christian specifically give to something like this, the Angel Tree campaign, where a kid with a parent in prison gets a Christmas gift? I'm not Christian and I donate, but I don't understand why a Christian wouldn't donate. Anyway, the banner is up at DennisPrager.com for the Angel Tree campaign, or call 888-206-2801, 888-206-2801. I'm devoting the show to the question, how have the last 2 years, nearly 2 years, affected you? And it's affected everybody who's called. It's affected me. This has been a very bad period in American life. Every institution has not only failed, but has damaged. Is damaged and has damaged the society. On the masks issue, do you not understand how bad that is for young people in particular, not to see faces? Is that not obvious to you, that the price paid is so infinitely greater than the good done? I can take my mask off in an airplane. I'm 6 inches from the person next to me. And for a half hour or whatever time it is that I drag out drinking my coffee or having my pathetic airline meal, and that doesn't cause anybody to get sick. But if I'm not eating, I got to get the mask on. And as I've asked so often, you think the pilots wear masks in the cockpit, or now they like flight deck? It's a rhetorical question. Okay, let's see here. Tom, Chicago, hello.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me. This has affected myself, my family, and I know it's affected the whole country. First of all, I'm a 62-year-old man. I've got 3 children, 30, 28, and 26. Last year, my son, around February, who was already a drinker, I think it pushed him over the edge. We ended up committing into a hospital for a night, which I never thought I would have to do with my son. But by the grace of God and our faith, he came through it. Then,
wait, is he now sober?
Yes, sir. And believe it or not, he finished law school and graduated. How's that?
I'm very happy for you.
This guy was so last year I was what's called an essential worker. I'm a contractor. I put roofs on buildings. It wasn't a bad year. Then this year started. COVID kept going. It has affected our family in so many ways, the business. And what I love about what you're doing today is we need to talk. We need to talk as a society because there is so much pain out here right now.
That's right.
I talk with business people all day.
That's right.
And the pain, the anxiety level.
Right.
I can't get materials, Dennis, from some of my projects. They're staying until next year.
That's right.
Which will basically I've been in business 34 years.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it. And I listen to the politicians. They don't care.
That's correct.
And that is
the point. They don't care. Or let's put it this way: the Democrats don't. They really don't. Anyway, I want you to know how much your call meant to me, because that's what I'm doing today. there's been so little attention paid to the prices of pain, the pain prices of medical policies pushed by politicians. It's all COVID. Number of cases, cases rise. Will hospitals overflow with patients? But the staggering prices paid in families. My son went over the edge and drank himself into the hospital. You know how often that happens? Do you know how often my son, people could say my son, my daughter, drank themselves to death? Or drugged themselves to death? Highest number of overdoses in the history of our recording the issue. 100,000. And they're far younger than the people who died of COVID. Far younger. How much attention is paid to that? Anthony in Los Angeles, hello.
Hello, Dennis. First of all, I just want to, I think you are a national treasure at this time.
Thank you.
You are helping lead us to restore and not lose everything we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that this past 2 years have been the most difficult in my life.
Mm.
I'm 80 years old, but I'm like Caleb. I'm going on 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you something. We can take this back, but it's going to be an all-out effort. And the loss of family, the loss of friends.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got to take a break. Loss of family, loss of friends. Not because of COVID, because of the media and the government.
Trending now on the Dennis Prager Show.
I have never seen in my life the orchestrated hatred to a group of Americans as I am seeing now. It's orchestrated hatred. You are allowed